Hello, physiology students. Normally, in the before times, I spend an hour going over the syllabus. Now, we shouldn't spend that much time indoors. So instead, I am posting it online, and I expect you to read it. However, I am going to go over some key points in it. I also plan on touching on a few things when we meet in our first period. However, this will not be an hour-long video. I have a 15-minute limit, and I've already used 30 seconds. The biggest takeaway I want for this, though, is I have makeup assignments. Please do not come to school sick. So on the top is instructor contact information. My email, I tried to reply within 24 hours on a weekday, 72 hours on a weekend. Basically, all electronics get put away in my household on the weekends, so I have to sneak to check my work email. This is Canvas, and this is a website we'll do some labs on. Now I have 4 student contact hours. We have Monday online on Zoom. There's a link on the front Canvas page. Wednesday before your class, then Tuesday and Thursday before my anatomy class. These are times to ask me questions in person. We also have lab for 6 hours a week. Read over the course description and the student learning outcomes. This is needed for transfer to some other school. They may ask you for the syllabus. Again, the most important part is the COVID policy. Do not come to class if you are feeling sick or possibly exposed or are sick. I can either find makeup assignments or make them. You need to be vaccinated or have a waiver. They wouldn't let you sign up. Masks must be worn in the classroom at all times. We follow the county health code, not the state. Try to social distance when possible. Some of the labs I want to even try to do outside. If you are having symptoms or test positive, notify me and stay home. Wipe down everything before or after use. This is actually something from the before times. We don't trust the class that was in there before us, so we wipe it down. We are going to wipe it down for the class after us because we're polite. Do not eat or drink in the lecture lab room. You can step outside. And I'll have you guys upload assignments to mitigate exposure between people, and it'll take me 7 days to grade test because of this. Read over the course overview in detail. The key points, we have almost 10 hours of class together. We have 90 minutes of lecture, 6 hours and 10 minutes of lab. Set aside that much time for Mondays and Wednesdays. Expect that I use all of it. I might not. Try to read the lab exercises beforehand. We'll lecture on a topic. The lab might be a different topic though. In lab, we're going to look at things like heart rate, breathing, cardiovascular dynamics, and do a lot of membrane labs and transport labs that you wouldn't expect in a normal physiology classroom, but it actually is in every single school that I teach at. Again, questions are encouraged during lab time. We are together 2 times a week for 3 hours. And note for any class, for every hour you spend in the classroom, you should spend 2 to 3 outside. This is a 5-unit class. We meet 9 hours. So you should spend somewhere from 15 to 27 hours a week outside of the classroom. We have 2 books. We have the textbook They Make Me Assign, Silverthorne, Human Physiology, an Integrated Approach. I put 6th edition. I think the welcome letter had the 7th edition. Do not buy it unless you plan to use it. I will not assign anything, and older editions are a lot cheaper, so if you buy it, buy an old used edition. The lab book is on Canvas. I will give you links the first day of class to it. I plan on having you upload the labs anyway, so you might not even need a physical copy unless you want them. The San Ramon bookstore has 20 to split between my class and the Tuesday, Thursday morning class. We have a brand new tutoring center and library. I don't know who the tutor is this year. It used to be one of my former students who is an amazing person and an amazing tutor. But go use the tutoring service. There's computers to do your lab write-ups on. It's actually a nice place to study. Examinations are 75% of your grade. There's 4 lecture exams. Exams will be on lecture content. You can find the lecture content by going to the homepage. There's a little froggy scientist, and see lecture exam modules. Click on exam 1, wait 5 hours. We have our lectures. That is what I'm doing in class. I have review sheets. So lecture test review, chapters 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. This is for the 75 to 85 multiple choice questions. They are not the test questions. They're basically to get you to go and look at the PowerPoint files. So it's to give you an idea of what I'm asking, but they're not the test questions. So you really need to understand the PowerPoint files. It's just to give you a focus. I have students who actually will type these answers up as I'm going through them, and then after they're done with the last question, they just close their laptop knowing nothing else is on their test. Then you'll see these group problems. Those are possible essay questions, and we'll actually work on these together, the lab before each exam. And they'll be about 25 points on the test. So your tests are roughly 105 points. I take the top score, meaning if somebody got a 98, that means there's 7 bad multiple choice questions. I make the test out of 98 instead of 105. There's also going to be 4 online quizzes. These are on short chapters. So they have their own study guides in these. They're going to be on the cell, which you had in anatomy, the endocrine system, which you had in anatomy, blood, which you had in anatomy, and the skin and bone quiz. These quizzes are timed. They're online, so I can't stop you from using notes, so use your notes. However, you might not get the same test as your neighbor. So there's about 80 questions, not 80, about 60 questions, and it randomizes them, but it covers the chapter, and it's based off of the study guide. Lastly, you'll have lab exams. Here are the lab exam study guides, and I have protocols in there, videos about what we're doing in lab. Click on the link. Here are the protocols for the first 5 labs we're doing. And here is our study guide. This is going to be similar. So your exam is going to be questions like this. Bobby's heart pumps 4,912 milliliters in 1 minute. How many liters is that? And you will learn that is 4.9. So I will explain all that on a later part of the orientation module. I'll explain that in class. DSPS students, you need to give me the form a week in advance. There's a lot of paperwork involved on my part as well as your part. And school policy says you can only get a makeup if you're on a sports team, in a club activity, death in the family, medical emergency, and this includes a positive test. Again, if you are sick, I can create makeup assignments and makeup tests. The latter 2 need a positive test result or a doctor's note. In my 12 years teaching at the school, I have only had this problem once, that a student couldn't provide a doctor's note. The remaining 25% is from lab assignments, our research papers. So we have a research project, and it's taken many forms. Usually I have everyone write a full paper on the sleep lab. I'm so tired of that topic. You'll just do the methods and results, I found a typo, for the LEAP lab. A 50-point research paper where we skip the method section, then a project at the end. You get more detail when those come closer. Labs, you're going to upload. A lot of them are going to actually be group activities that you upload together, and the most important question is who is in your group, and then I will email you feedback. 5 is everything's done great. 3 is needs improvement. 1 is you didn't really do it. And usually for physiology, everyone has 5s because everyone takes the time to do everything. And they are due 1 week after the activity, except for the LEAP lab and length tension lab because you have papers associated with that. I expect problems uploading. First 2 weeks, I will not penalize you for being over that 1 week. But that's also why you have a week, is try to upload it early to make sure it uploads. But I'm anticipating problems, don't stress. Late work, you can only miss a lecture or lab exam if you are sick on a sports team, have a religious observance, or a club activity. Again, for the sick, I have lots of makeup assignments. I've had religious observances, no problem, just let me know in advance. The 3 papers, because you're going to have like 2 weeks on them or 3 projects, are not acceptable late just because you have so much time to work on them. Then for labs, you have 2 whoopsies. You don't need to tell me why, just tell me that you're using them. That you couldn't come because your dog got loose and a bear was outside and you couldn't go look for your dog. So you don't need to tell me just what it is, just tell me that you're using it. I know the last 2 years so much is going on in everybody's lives. It's easier for me just to forgive than to be, you must get this in. So I'll excuse to just tell me you want to use it for that lab. Active participation, you help clean up, you help participate in lab. So grade calculation, Canvas does it for you, but let's pretend there's 400 points in lecture exams, quizzes, and lab exams. I multiply that 400 points times 75%. We have 115-ish points from or 215-ish points from everything else. I multiply that by 25%, and that's how I calculate your final grade. I can sit down and walk you through it if you are confused by this. And then 90 to 100 is an A, 80 to 89 is a B, 70 to 79 is a C, 60 to 69 is a D. And it is your responsibility to withdraw. This is for your own protection. At one school I worked at, the teacher withdrew at the end of the semester. The students ended up getting Fs. So don't take that chance. Incompletes, you need to be done with 75% of the class. The board actually has to sign off on it. The president, they're really picky about this. So attendance, you need to come to lecture and lab. Stay home if you are sick, fever, cough, sore throat, loss of taste. Lab is required, except if you're sick. You get 2 whoopsies in addition to being that. I will give you makeup assignments if you are sick. So those 2 whoopsies are, you're not sick, your dog ran away with your ex or something like that. I expect you to be on time. Sometimes I start with a review of the previous material. If you miss that because you are late, it is not my fault. I got dinged on student evaluations 1 year for that. So try to come on time. I know 680 sucks. If you're a few minutes late, I probably won't notice. And expect that you're staying the whole period. A lot of the labs you don't though. So this is all boilerplate from the school's website. Read it over for academic honesty. Some rules: don't eat in the lecture or lab. Wear a mask at all times. Don't come in sick. No put downs or profanity. I've never had that trouble in physiology. No cell phones during the test. Do not eat in the laboratory. Pick up after yourselves. Don't talk during the exams. And don't argue about exam scores with me in front of the entire class. And most important, this is the first semester back face-to-face after 2 years. I am guessing things will be disorganized or unclear. Please let me know so I can fix it. I will be completely shocked if everything is clear and everything is 99.99% organized. So don't be afraid to tell me. I want to fix it. So asking for help, we're together 9 weeks. I have office hours. I mean student contact hours. And I am more than happy to answer questions. You can record lecture, you could take pictures in lab. Here's some study pointers, our important spring dates, and our projected schedule. So we'll always have group problems and a lab exam followed by a lecture exam. So see, I got through it in 14 minutes. So again, read it over slowly. I did rush through to get the 45 to hour through in 45 minutes. And again, let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.